What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be starting a brand new series called Marvel Storytime. Obviously I don't have time to get to the computer for it the entire week every time there's a bit of breaking Marvel news, so we're going to do this series basically to recap every couple of weeks, possibly if there's been big news, all the biggest things that have happened. The past few weeks there has been an absolute ton that has happened for the MCU. Obviously starting with the Deadpool trailer, obviously from the Super Bowl a couple of weeks ago. Like, that basically kick-started the absolute hype for the return to form of the MCU. I really hope that is true in the end. But my trailer reaction did very well. Thank you all for the support on that. It was a fantastic trailer. Obviously I've watched every Easter egg video since, and the likes of new rock stars and all, and the hype is just growing and growing. Obviously we won't talk too much about Deadpool because we've physically reacted to the trailer and done our recap there. In this video we're going to go over more about the Fantastic Four cast announcement, which was also done a few days later. The X-Men 97 trailer dropping in the same week. Who would have thought that the Fox X-Men and Fantastic Four franchises would be the seen as saviours of the MCU. We also had a few other bits of news. Henry Cavill has apparently signed a deal with the MCU in an unknown role, and apparently it will not be Doctor Doom, which I am glad of, but we will get into that. Avengers 5 is officially not called Kang Dynasty anymore, and apparently they were already having plans to make Kang a smaller character, if not take him out altogether, even before the allegations after Quantumania. I don't know if I believe that, and I don't know how I feel about that, but we'll get into it. And as you've seen from the title, this episode is called The Good, The Bad and Sony. So obviously we're going to be talking about the abundance of Spiderman 4 news that has hit since I last spoke on camera about Marvel, because this Spider-Man 4 news infuriates me the most. But anyway, we're going to get started with Fantastic Four. Obviously I did my cast reaction video. I've sort of I calmed down a bit on the whole Pedro Pascal thing now. I've seen a lot of other people's reaction videos and they were saying the same thing. They don't know how they feel about Pedro, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a good film. It has to be. Obviously I didn't even mention in my cast reaction video because I was so hung up on Pedro about the fact that the poster has a 60s setting. Obviously it's going to be set in the 60s. It's going to be an older story. There's been rumours since that they're considering having Doctor Doom, Galactus, and there's another villain in it, all of them in this. So that makes me feel like this is probably going to be set within a different universe. Because how else unless the Fantastic Four get lost in like the negative zone or quantum realm or something, how can you explain them coming up to the 2020s? In the Marvel universe? I think it'll probably be another multiversal universe. It'll probably be Suffering Incursion, or Galactus will just go yump and eat that, and they'll be saved by the TVA and placed in another universe, probably after Secret Wars, I would assume. But like the whole thing around it, there's a bit of an aura around it. I know it comes out at the same time as Superman Legacy in the cinemas, 2 weeks apart. And people are saying, which one are you going to see? You can see both. They're 2 weeks apart. Both of them should be making a ton of money. I know they're saying at Marvel that they're pinning so much of their hopes on the Fantastic Four. They should be. Because if this goes right, Fantastic Four could be their new focal point, along with the X-Men, along with Deadpool, and probably Wolverine. Because we've heard a bit more about Wolverine as well. Apparently Kevin Feige now is considering putting Deadpool and Wolverine in what would have been Kang Dynasty Avengers 5, because they were only slated for Secret Wars, but apparently that could also be on the change now because he has been beyond impressed with what he has seen from Deadpool and Wolverine. Moving on, we had the X-Men 97 trailer drop in the same week as the Fantastic Four announcement. People were just hyped out the gills for this. It looked very good. It was very good that they're continuing on with the series from where it left off. Obviously, spoiler alert if you haven't seen the original, with Professor X obviously passing away. The whole the wee needle drop at the end with Magneto taking over the X-Mansion. Very, very smart decision, because it added a whole new dynamic to that show, because like while it is X-Men 97, it is in a completely different time now. So like there are going to be differences. The scene in the trailer with Gambit on top of Wolverine, like he was a horse and powering up the claws, that was just amazing. I think if we got a similar scene in live action, I think you would see end game level reactions from the audience to be on their feet. But X-Men 97, like, it will bridge the gap, I think, for I think it's 10 episodes, I think it's weekly, and it comes out March 20th. So that'll take you up to what? June? Just start of June possibly? And then you've got Deadpool in July. So I think it doesn't matter if you're old, young, if you grew up with the series, if you're new to the series. I think it's something that any of us can watch personally. So I just wish my daughter was more into Marvel stuff and would get her watching X-Men 97. But it is what it is. The next one, Henry Cavill, as apparently, allegedly, like this is just rumours, nothing has been confirmed, but it does seem pretty set in stone that he has signed a contract with the MCU and Marvel, and he will be playing a big character, but it is not Doctor Doom, because I know there was rumours swirling that Marvel had narrowed down Doctor Doom to 2 actors, Cillian Murphy and Henry Cavill. One of them I was like, yeah, that would be perfect, and the other one I was mostly thinking he needs to be a hero. Cillian Murphy would be perfect as Doom. Henry Cavill should be something else. People were saying that there's a good chance it's going to be Captain Britain. Yeah, Captain Britain. There hasn't even been a project announced about Captain Britain, and Marvel's slate is so jam-packed right now, I don't know if they can be announcing something else. One rumour I really liked was that he would play Cyclops in the MCU's X-Men. I think that idea would be amazing, because if they're going to really change the dynamic of our live action X-Men compared to the Fox X-Men, we need Cyclops to be the leader. We need him to do his thing. We need him to be in charge, because in the Fox X-Men universe, he was shafted essentially. He should have been the leader. He should have been over Wolverine the whole time. But Hugh Jackman was obviously had such a star power that he just dominated the franchise. And like, looking back on it, fair enough, he became an icon for it. But Fox Universe had 2 fantastic actors portraying Scott Summers in their series, and they still wasted him. So I need Henry Cavill to be something like that, like likes of Hyperion and all. And as we mentioned, that's just another Superman. I want to see him move away from that. He probably wants to move away from that, if we're being honest. So Cyclops is my guess and my hope for Henry Cavill in the MCU. Kang, apparently, with Jonathan Majors now out, and Kang Dynasty has been changed to still just Avengers 5, but apparently a rename will come soon, and the directors will be named soon. There's rumours swirling that apparently Marvel are going to pivot away from Kang. I don't agree with that at all. I think we spent Phase 4 and most of Phase 5 building up Kang. I know we can't have Jonathan Majors, but there's so many talented actors out there that if they were recast as Kang, nobody would bat an eyelid. People want this. A lot of people want to see the Kang story finish, and it's not even just about wanting the Kang story to finish. I don't think there's time for another big villain to be introduced as this unbelievable threat before Secret Wars Part 1 and 2. People are mentioning Doom, and yes, Doom should get his own phase 1, 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 arc. He should get his own arc of 3 phases. But if he comes in now, he will be rushed. They will be putting him in every post-credit scene, in every film, and he won't have any impact. And by the time the Avengers films comes, it'll just be, oh, it's Doom? Oh, okay. Someone needs to be recast as Kang, in my opinion, but obviously I have no say in this. It's just my personal opinion. The character should have nothing to do with the actor that played him and what he did in the real world. We have recast in the MCU before, we should recast again, and we should finish this phase with the multiversal story that Kang started. It is as simple as that. I know they've sort of given themselves a little out with the way Loki Season 2 ended. Loki probably found out about the Council of Kangs and just bottlenecked that. But I would like to see Kang finish his story. And lastly, but definitely not least, Spider-Man 4. Apparently because Sony are burning money so much with their own Spider-Man universe without Spider-Man, that they are planning on just torpedoing the Spider-Man 4. They want it to be a multiversal film with Tobey and Andrew all over again, despite No Way Home setting up a ground level story for Tom Holland. We need a ground level story. It's not even just about that we want to see him finally team up with Daredevil to take on Kingpin. We do want that, but it has, even if they weren't in it, it has to be ground level. Peter Parker in the MCU is not completely alone. He's no family, nobody knows who he is. It does not make sense to do another multiversal story. And the bigger problem is that it's coming out that Sony are ready to rush this film into production, rush the writing, and rush the entire development of the film. They don't care about the final product. You can tell that from their own films like Madam Web. They just want to make guaranteed money. And yes, a multiversal film would probably make a bit more money than a ground level film. But you might also end up stopping Spider-Man at Spider-Man 4 if you screw this up. You can only get so far if the films are doing well and are good films. If they ruin Spider-Man 4, there might not be a 5 and 6 of his second trilogy. There's meant to be a third trilogy as well for Tom Holland. If they just play it safe and keep it, let Kevin Feige keep control, they will get a brand new film out of this. Simple as. They'll get a 5 and a 6, they will get all the Avengers stuff, but they could end up ruining Tom Holland. They really could. I know there was even more rumours that Sony would actually like Nathaniel Richards, a variant of Kang, to be the main villain and make it full multiversal. No, it has to be Kingpin. The MCU should not be moving around their schedule or anything to fit Sony. If I was Marvel, I would just say, look, we signed a deal for so many Spider-Man films and so many Avengers films, but the MCU does have a say in when they can be done. So and Tom Holland has said himself he will only return for Spider-Man 4 if it's a good story and if it's ground level. So Sony have to convince Tom Holland as well. So I do think that common sense will win out here. Hopefully, I'm praying. But if it doesn't, I'm not. It's always nice to see Tobey and Andrew, but I will not be as excited for a multiversal film. It is as simple as that. Sony need to back off. They need to. If I was Sony, I would just sell the rights to Marvel. I honestly would. Because at this stage, if it wasn't for the MCU films and the Venom films, which apparently is ending after the third Venom anyway, they're not going to be making money regardless. So they should just sell the Marvel, like 10 billion we'll call it. That should be enough because Sony are never going to make 10 billion on their own movies without the MCU. So maybe even sell the rights, put in a royalty percentage of the movies, like for the future. Simple as that. It's not simple, obviously. Nothing ever is. If Sony really are going to be this stupid about this, then they don't deserve to have Spider-Man. They really don't. At least when Fox were pumping out X-Men films and, well, I won't say Fantastic Four films because they were all terrible, but when they were pumping out X-Men, half of them were good, and half of them had amazing moments, like the First Class and all. Half of them were terrible, Apocalypse, Dark Phoenix and all that. But there's no good Sony projects. Even the Venom films that do make money, yes, that Tom Hardy is amazing as Venom, but the writing and directing in those films is terrible. Sony need taken away from this franchise. They're going to ruin it for everybody. And see the fact it was rumoured that Marvel are willing to move their own schedule around to accommodate Sony. No. No. Apparently, if they do bow to Sony's demands, we're going to end up with Fantastic Four and Blade postponed again. They've only just announced the date for Fantastic Four. They cannot postpone it again. People will start losing faith. People already are. So Sony need to just get in their own little lane, which is probably at some sort of play park because they're just complete amateurs, and just leave the proper superhero films to the MCU. It is as simple as that. Because I will lose my complete shit if they ruin Spider-Man. It's the one shining light right now. So just leave Spider-Man alone and give us street level Spider-Man with a Civil War 2-part story, street level Avengers. Give us it all. Let Toby and Andrew rest till Secret Wars. They should be back then. And just back off, Sony. Well, that is it for the Marvel Roundup anyway, guys. I think we kept under 20 minutes anyway. Thank you for listening if you still are. If you're still here, please like and subscribe if you can. And I shall see you guys on the next one.